This week, the football world never stopped moving. Two legends said their goodbyes in tears. A superstar faces a race against time to make the biggest final of the season. And two managers walked into chaos, knowing exactly what they were signing up for. Today, we bring you the most emotional, the most dramatic, and the most important stories of the week. Buckle up. This is not just another football update. Manchester United is entering a new chapter. The long-awaited question has finally been answered. Michael Carrick is set to be named as the permanent head coach of the Red Devils, but the real work starts now. Since taking over from Darren Fletcher earlier this year, Carrick has recorded 11 wins and 3 draws in 16 matches, lifting the club from 6th to 3rd place and securing Champions League football. His performances even earned him a nomination for Premier League Manager of the Season, and that's no coincidence. That's hard work. But wins alone don't tell the whole story. A section of the fan base remains concerned about the lack of a clear identity in Carrick's play style. Some matches were won thanks to individual brilliance or opponent errors rather than a defined system. With a full preseason now ahead of him, Carrick must implement a clear Manchester United-rooted football philosophy. Then there's the massive task of replacing Casemiro. The Brazilian scored 5 goals this season, and fans begged him to stay, but he's leaving, and that's final. Finding someone of his caliber won't be cheap or easy. Names like Elliot Anderson, Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton, and Atalanta's Ederson have all been mentioned. Meanwhile, all eyes are on Bruno Fernandes. The club captain nearly left last summer, but said it himself. The joy I get from this club, I don't think I'll get that anywhere else in the world. With Champions League football back, United will hope that's enough to keep him. On the outgoing side, Rashford, Onana, and Ugarte are expected to leave. Sancho's contract is up, and Højlund's loan.
Dembele's injury concern for the Champions League final is real, but PSG and Luis Enrique are cautiously optimistic. Here's a quick summary. The situation. Dembele was forced off in the first half of PSG's 2-1 League One defeat to Paris FC on Sunday with what appeared to be a thigh muscle issue. The Champions League final against Arsenal in Budapest is on May 30th. Luis Enrique's take. He downplayed it after the game, saying, "I think it's just fatigue. I don't think it's anything serious, and there are still 2 weeks left." Medical scans were scheduled for Monday to confirm. Why it matters so much? Dembele has been PSG's talisman this season. 19 goals and 11 assists in 39 appearances. Losing him for the final would be a massive blow to their hopes of back-to-back Champions League titles. World Cup angle. He's also in France's squad for the 2026 World Cup, so there's pressure from the national team side too to ensure nothing is rushed or aggravated. Bottom line, the 12-day window before the final gives some breathing room, and the precautionary substitution framing is encouraging. But until the scan results are out, PSG fans will be nervous. If it turns out to be minor fatigue rather than a muscle tear, he should be fine, but that's the key unknown right now.
What a send-off. This is genuinely one of the more moving farewell stories in recent football memory. A few thoughts. The apology was clearly genuine. The Barcelona move was messy at the time. The will he won't he saga dragged on for 2 summers and left a real sour taste with Atletico fans. The fact that he came back, won them over completely, and then stood at the microphone in tears saying, "I made a mistake," says a lot about his character. The legacy is remarkable. 212 goals, 100 assists, all-time record scorer, 500 appearances. And he did it across 2 separate spells, the second of which required him to essentially rebuild trust from scratch. Not many players could pull that off. Simeone calling him probably the best player we've ever had here is a huge statement, given the players who have passed through. Torres, Forlan, Falcao, Costa. It reflects just how transformative Griezmann was for that club over the years. The Orlando City move is a little bittersweet. At 35, it makes sense practically, but you sense Atletico fans would have loved one final season. His farewell at 500 appearances with an assist in a win is about as perfect an ending as you can script, though. The one thread that hangs in the air is the trophy cabinet. No Liga title, no Champions League with Atletico.
Another genuinely emotional farewell. And coming on the same weekend as Griezmann's, it's been quite a Sunday for football sentiment. The numbers speak for themselves. 119 goals in 4 years, a Pichichi, multiple La Liga titles, and arriving at a club that was genuinely in turmoil financially and competitively in 2022. He didn't just score goals, he gave Barcelona credibility again, at a time when they desperately needed a world-class name to believe in. Flick's tribute carries extra weight because he's coached Lewandowski at two of the biggest clubs in the world. When someone who has seen you up close at Bayern and Barcelona calls you the best striker of the past decade and admits replacing you is almost impossible, that's not a farewell platitude. That's a genuine assessment. My mission is complete is an interesting framing. 7 trophies in Spain is a remarkable haul, and there's something admirable about a player who can identify when a chapter is truly finished rather than hanging on. At 36, he still clearly has something left physically, but the timing feels right on his own terms. The Saudi versus MLS question will be the next talking point. Given his fitness levels and professionalism, Flick specifically noted how he takes care of himself, he could probably still perform in a top European league for another season. Whether the financial pull of Saudi Arabia proves too strong is another matter entirely altogether. The guard of honor, the family on the pitch, the tears, it had everything. 2 legends saying goodbye on the same day. Not a bad weekend for football's romantic side.
The manager versus head coach detail is fascinating. It's a small word, but a significant signal. Blueco are essentially admitting their previous model of separating coaching and sporting decisions wasn't working. Giving Alonso genuine control over transfers and squad building is the right lesson to have learned, even if it took burning through 5 managers to get there. The Real Madrid parallel is the elephant in the room. Losing the dressing room at the Bernabeu, reportedly alienating Vinicius, Bellingham, and others within 6 months is a serious red flag that can't be dismissed. Leverkusen was a near-perfect environment. A unified squad, no massive egos, a club hungry for history. Real Madrid and Chelsea are the opposite of that. If the same pattern repeats at Stamford Bridge, his coaching reputation takes a genuinely damaging hit. The squad quality argument is real, though. Palmer, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Esteval, Gittins, Colwill. On paper, that's a genuinely exciting group. The problem isn't talent, it's structure, hierarchy, and bloat. Alonso's job in year 1 is essentially triage before building. The patience question is the biggest one of all. Antonio Conte is the only manager to last more than 18 months at Chelsea in recent memory. The 4-year contract sounds reassuring, but so did Rosenier's deal until 2032, and he was gone in 3.5 months. Words and contracts mean little there. The Liverpool counterfactual is intriguing. An Anfield homecoming would have felt like destiny. Choosing Chelsea instead, a club with no emotional attachment, could actually be the smarter play psychologically. Failure hurts less when there's no personal history at stake. Bottom line, this is the highest stakes gamble of Alonso's coaching career so far. The ingredients for success are there, but so are all the conditions that ended his last 2 jobs prematurely.